Yo, welcome back to another weekly chart breakdown. So, once again, I trade the 15-minute orb strategy on ES. I trade micros, but I chart on ES. I chart on TradingView. I do pay for data, so it can be very precise. And I use volume profile. And I'm still learning volume profile. So, as you see, I'm going to get better at explaining it and the terminology and just better trades. The past 2 weeks have been very, very good. I've been disciplined, just so disciplined, and not trading as much as well. And that's really been helping my P&L. So let's get into it. So this is for Monday. And for some reason, I don't have any notes on here. I don't know why. Sometimes TradingView just be tripping, bro. But let's take a look. So we have, sorry, there's a lot of crap on here. Like I'm telling you, trading volume profile has made my charts so messy that it gives me anxiety. So we have this red line here. This is the orb. This is the orb range. We have the red line, orb low. We have orb high. And then we have this zone right here. And whenever I have these zones, it's basically the highs that were not broken overnight or the previous day as well. And I like to mark up those zones because I'm not taking a trade unless it's like a very bullish candle, bullish momentum inside of that zone. I prefer to take it out of the zone, but if it's the trade is taken inside the zone, I need to have some nice bullish momentum. So here we go. So as you can see right here, this candle here, and I'm going to delete that zone so you can see it better. So let's get rid of this here. So we had a break. We have a breakup orb here. Nice momentum. Small wick at the top. So I got in right here. First take profit was 10 points and hit that quickly. Second take profit was 15 points, hit that quickly. Very simple trade. I remember this trade, although I don't have my notes. I only take the trades if it's breaking above point of control, breaking above and closing above value area high. It's because that means it's accepting price. When it's breaking above point of control and value area high, it's accepting that higher price. And it might come down to retest point of control to see if it's failing to accept higher price. But usually when it's breaking above point of control, value area high, that means it's accepting price. And as you can see, it broke above these highs as well, this zone that was previously here. But once again, price will come back to test point of control. So I can already tell you, because this is an active point of control for that day, so I can assure you that point of control probably was still ranging in this area, and that's why price came back down to test it to see if it's going to. So when it tested these higher values, it didn't accept price at this higher values. So it came back to test point of control. Then it came back to test the point of control from the previous day. So this orange line here is the point of control from the previous day. So it came back to test it. And also it's probably some economic news happened here as well, because I'm telling you, the stuff going on in the Middle East has been pretty bizarre. So came back down to test it and did not accept lower value. So boom, shot back up. And then that's where you see point of control rested here for the day. So yeah, so in all, that day was a good day for me. Good day. So let's keep going. Let's go to Tuesday. Tuesday, I'm not gonna lie, man. I believe this is the day I just wanted to break all my rules, like real spill. This is the day I wanted to break all my rules. Because if you look at it, it looks like I had a pretty solid day. It looks like I had a pretty solid day. But Tuesday, I traded with fear. I traded with fear instead of letting the trade play out. So when you place a stop loss, you have to accept that loss. And when you're placing your stop loss, you need to be placing it based on structure. And then when you place your stop loss based on structure, you look at how many points it is, and then that's how you calculate how many contract sizes to use, right? And then once you calculate that contract size, like I like to have my losses between I really no more than 250, 225. And when you place that stop loss, you have to accept in your mind that you can possibly lose $225 or $250, whatever. so that you can let your trade breathe. You feel me? So let's go ahead and read my notes from that day. And yeah, so here we go. I was being too reserved. A lot of economic stuff happening, and the Fed was speaking. Got taken out at break even. Low key, I'm pissed. Entered on break of ORB high, point of control, value area high, and small zone that was created from the false ORB breaks. Was hesitant because we have been in a very strong bullish rally and are at highs that have not been broken since last year. Should have shortened my stop loss instead of moving to break even. So to tell you what happened. So first of all, like I was going against my trading plan from the jump. Like my plan really is to not trade on like days that Trump is speaking, but I've been like kind of pushing in to not trade when the Fed is speaking as well, because that's been moving the markets like heavily as well, and make the markets pretty confused on knowing what to do, because it's a big ordeal whether we're going to cut rates right now or not. So I kind of told myself in my head, I'm just like, I shouldn't trade. So, but if I'm going to trade it, I'm not going to, I'm going to take a very, very strong setup. You feel me? So this is the ORB strategy, the ORB zone right here. This is the ORB low. This is ORB high. So within the ORB, we created this zone right here. And as you can see, we played around this zone here. And then we broke right here. We broke we broke the zone. We broke this zone. Like, this is crazy amount of confluences. We broke this zone that created. And then if you can see here, there are a bunch of wicks in here where the orb, it tried to break the orb high. And then this candle here, it actually broke and closed out of the orb, but it didn't close well. You know my rule. Candle has to be 75% out of the orb. And then this candle, it came back and basically closed back inside the orb. So for me, I'm only going to take this trade and if I'm out of the orb, 75% of the candles out of the orb, and now I needed to break and close above these wicks. And yes, I did trade into this zone, but it was a nice candle. That candle had a lot of momentum, and it was a very bullish candle. So I took this trade. And I went into profits, and I told myself, okay, the Fed is talking. I'm actually not completely out of this zone that was right here. So let me just protect myself. The Fed is talking. Low key, I probably shouldn't be trading right now, because this new rule that I'm kind of implementing is not to trade when the Fed is talking. So if I move my stops to break even and I get taken out at break even, then it is what it is. I wasn't supposed to be trading today anyway. That's what I was telling myself. And that's what happened. I got taken out like to the T, bro. I got taken out to the T, and boom, would have hit both of my take profits, my 10 point and then my 15 point. And yeah, that kind of pissed me off. It kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, like when you're trading with such discipline, and this month is probably the most disciplined month that I've ever had so far, I'm not gonna lie. When you're trading with such discipline, you're gonna have days where you just don't trade. And then you have days where, you have break even days or small losses. Then you're going to have days where they're good. And then sometimes you might have a day where you only, win one trade for that whole, you're going to have weeks where you win one trade for that whole week and you don't lose any trades, but you just have like just that. And on my Apex accounts, I'm only for like my main, I have like multiple accounts, but for the main one, I'm only shooting for like $200. So it can get to you mentally when you're looking at your P&L for the week and it's only up $200. You feel me? And yeah, so when you're getting stopped out at break even, sometimes it can mess with you mentally. But at the same time, if you're rushing and you know what I'm saying, if you're rushing or whatnot, you can look at your P&L and see a blown account. So all right, so let's keep it moving. So this is Wednesday. I'm not sure. This is the second Wednesday I did not trade. I'm not sure why I did not trade this, but I'm also in the process of moving, so that could be it as well. All right, so let's go to Thursday. So this is the last day I traded for the week. And another thing with this day here, bro. I think another reason why this day like kind of pissed me off is because for one of my Apex accounts, I was only like $600 away from passing it, and I would have passed it with this trade. I would pass with this trade. Like I say, I have multiple accounts. I have like one PA account where my aim is only to make like $200 a day, and then the rest of them are evals where I have like one 50K account where same as my PA, aiming to make like $200 a day, and then my other 50K is like I used to trade copier, so it's like 3 times that much, and I have a 250K, it's like 4 times that much. Yeah, all that craziness. So Wednesday, did not trade Wednesday. So here we go to Thursday. Thursday. Good day, man. Thursday was a good day. Good day. But also Thursday was a good day, but it also shows you how when you're trading with trade copiers, it can like hurt you in a sense. Well, it can hurt you, period. If you lose, if you blow one account, you probably can blow all your accounts. So yeah, so Thursday was a good day. So let's break it down. Like first of all, this orb zone is very small. I love when the orb is very small. I love when the orb is very small because my stop loss does not have to be major. Like, let's see what my stop loss was here. Oh crap. Possibly about 9 points. You feel me? About 9 points. That's a good stop loss. You know, so orb, this is the orb zone, orb low, orb high, and then I have these zones here marked off because these are all-time highs. All-time highs here, and price has been just doing crazy things around these all-time highs. It's been breaking above it, it's been breaking below it, and it hasn't accepted price yet or what it wants to do. And if you zoom out and you look back on just the history, because these are literally all-time highs. So if you look back at the history on ES, once it reaches these all-time highs, it really does tank. You know what I'm saying? Then it comes back like a year or two later and retest these all-time highs. So I was just marking off this zone, but I know it's a different time period. And the markets have been very, very crazy. So anything can happen, you know what I'm saying? So I was not trying to come into trading with the bias that price was going to reverse, because that's what it's really been doing in the past. Like this is a new era of trading, you know? So I just marked off my orb high, my orb low, and then my zones. This zone is based off the wicks from this here, all this madness. And then of course you can see this zone is from all these tops where price just failed to break. So, all right, so let's read the notes. Clean break above all-time highs, break above point of control, value area high, and orb high. Was a bit nervous because it's all-time highs. Closed at 10 points because one evaluation reached the profit target. All right, so as you can see here, price right here broke and slightly closed above the orb and closed, broke this zone with this wick, but closed basically back inside the zone. And you know my rules. I am not going to take an orb break if the candle is at 75% out of the orb with a small wick. So this is violating both. It's less than 75% out of the orb, and the top wick is almost half of the candle. So what happens, that next candle literally closed back inside of the orb, and then the candle after that, it failed to break the orb, and then the candle after that, it broke the orb, but it's basically an indecision candle. So let's go ahead and delete this zone so you can try to see these candles a bit better. Probably should have been doing this the whole time, right? All right, here we go. So candle here broke the orb, long wick, not 75% out. Next candle came back into the orb. Next candle failed to break the orb. Next candle after that, indecision candle. So now off rip, in my mind, what I'm telling myself is now I can't even take this trade until I break above this new zone. I break and close above this new zone here, and preferably the actual high of that long wick. You know, so that's what I'm telling myself off rip. I can't even take this trade until now I break above that zone. So what ends up happening, it actually does break. So this next candle here has nice bullish momentum, nice bullish momentum, volume, and it broke. It's above. It's out of the orb completely. So it's 100% out of the orb. It's closing with momentum, breaking this zone here. So I got into the trade. And also above at the time it was above value area high, point of control, and of course the orb high. So I got in, and it was a great trade, and I exited like right at the 10 point TP1, and because I'm trade copying, I exited out all of them. I exited out my top step as well. So I'm just like, man, I just want to be done with the day. I passed one of the evals. I don't want to like pass an eval on Apex and then price reverse on top step, and now I'm just having a bad day. So yeah, I just exited here, and as you can see, it kept rallying. So that's it, man. That's it for this past week. Very, very disciplined. I was so disciplined this whole entire month, and I'm very thankful, man. I'm very thankful that I'm allowing myself to be disciplined. Some people are afraid to allow themselves to become disciplined because it can be scary, like missing out on trades because you're trying to be disciplined, you know. But just do it. Just allow yourself to be disciplined and don't rush the process. Like, you're going to think that you're missing out on trades, and your P&L for that week might look low, but it's better than blowing accounts. And then your next week might be a good week. You feel me? So just stay positive, stay disciplined. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all.